Welcome back to this episode of Professor on the Road. I wanted to thank everybody for the really nice emails and social media messages that have been going around saying thank you so much for doing this and I really like what you're doing, and it was all really positive stuff, which is great. I really like it. But this episode is about realistically doing this trip. So a lot of this trip that I didn't show you was the massive amount of driving that I had to do. And the complete trip took over 6,500 miles. That is the complete total time of the trip. We're at 6,567 miles. That's 151 hours of driving. 151 hours and 4 minutes on the trip. And we are home. And to get through that 151 hours of boredom and the cat meowing in the back seat, I learned about podcasts. Trip, that's my travel time today. 10 hours, 45 minutes, 678 miles from Omaha. Now, I knew about podcasts, but I never really got into them so much. So I got into some BBC podcasts, I got into some NPR podcasts, but the main one I got into was Office Ladies. And I watched The Office, but I wasn't a huge fan, but I watched a lot of those episodes. And let me tell you, The Office Ladies got me through about 30 hours worth of driving by listening to them. You listen to about 2-3 shows and you've gone like 300 miles. So it works really, really great. So thank you, Office Ladies, for that. I really appreciate that. Coming back from Wyoming was really interesting because there was a massive amount of wind.
Okay, it is so windy. He is flying sideways. That's incredible. I've never seen anything this windy.
And I didn't realize that the US got that windy. And it was so windy that I saw tractor trailers flipped over on the highway.
This is how much wind there is. Look at that dusty fur.
No, you can't go outside. You can't go outside. All right, I am driving through Wyoming. You can hear Dusty is not happy back there. There's 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts on this highway, and this is crazy. The truck is leaning to the left pretty dramatically. There was a sign that said, hi Dusty, look at that right there, he's not happy. There was a sign that said, lightweight, high vehicles were not allowed on here. I don't think I'm a high vehicle, but I guess I'm a little lightweight. I hope I don't tip over. But yeah, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts out here. It's a beautiful day though. Dusty, do you not like this?
And it was so windy that I saw tractor trailers flipped over on the highway.
And another one. Luckily, they're all on the other side of the road from me. So that's good. But man, talk about high wind.
Which was a little bit scary because I'm driving through that same wind, and I don't know if that thing is a high-profile vehicle or not, but I will tell you, I was being blown around quite a bit.
That's the third overturned vehicle I've seen here.
At one point, I pulled over into a rest stop that was extremely windy, and there was a ton of tractor trailers sitting there and RVs and all kinds of things that weren't risking driving down that road. So the night of all that wind, I decided to pull into Cabela's World Headquarters RV Park. And it was an interesting night full of wind.
So we drove through Wyoming that had 60-mile-an-hour gusts, and the truck was moving around left and right. And tonight, I am camping right outside of Cabela's World Headquarters, which is pretty cool. But the wind is still going pretty bad, and the truck right now is just going like right. I don't know if you can see that at all, but I just got a gust and the whole truck is moving back and forth. So it's going to be an interesting night of sleeping. Although I do have the heater going and I've got electric, so I'm going to be all right tonight. But we're going to be rocking and rolling tonight, sleeping in the truck.
Maybe you can see the wind there on the canvas a little bit.
This is my second time trying to stop at the Herbert Hoover Presidential Museum, and it's been closed both times. Hi, Dusty.
One of the things that was cool about this trip was just being able to pull over anytime you saw something cool. And I did that in Nebraska. This is the Great Platte River Road Archway, and it was all about the history of people moving west. It basically showed Americans traveling through this part of the country over time.
Reminds me of when I played Oregon Trail as a kid in elementary school.
And that's exactly what it was. It was showing things like the Oregon Trail and the Mormon Trail and the California Trail. So it was a great way to take a half-an-hour break in the middle of driving. The other thing that I passed by a couple times, but I had to stop this time, was the world's largest truck stop. This truck stop's been called a small city and even truckers' Disneyland. It has a barbershop, dentist, theater, and even a chiropractor inside. There's even a truck museum there.
First night in a Walmart parking lot. But you can get breakfast.
The last thing is about traveling with animals, and I've got this little thing right here that stayed with me for a month and a half inside the truck. And it was very interesting. A lot of hotels are okay with dogs, but they're not okay with cats. So even on the hotels that said pet friendly, I just snuck them in. I like backing into a motel that has a door right there so I can just throw Dusty right in without anybody really seeing what's going on. Now, I did stay at every hotel that I stayed at was pet friendly, but I didn't really want to tell them because the one time I actually told somebody that I had a cat, it became a whole issue. So I don't do that anymore. But even though Dusty was meowing in the back of the car for the first hour of every day's drive, not like he didn't know that it was gonna happen, he was a really nice companion to have on the trip. And the fact that he cuddled up at night was pretty cute.
And we have the electric blanket.
So I think Dusty and I have a little bit better relationship now since the trip. So thank you so much for joining me on this first Professor on the Road trip. I have more videos coming up this summer for some trips, and I believe this fall I still have the opportunity to do another Professor on the Road. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the videos, and I'll see you back next time.